everyone, welcome back to my channel Seek Knowledge with Hania. It's Hania here. In today's video, we will continue the chapter Tracing Changes Through 1,000 Years and we will discuss the topic Region and Empire. So now let's get started. Large states like those of the Cholas, Tughlaqs or Mughals encompassed many regions. A Sanskrit Prashasti praising the Delhi Sultan Ghiyasuddin Balban 1266 to 1287 explained that he was the ruler of a vast empire that stretched from Bengal, Gauda in the west to Ghazni Gajjana in Afghanistan in the west and included all of South Indian Dravida. People of different regions, Gauda, Andhra, Kerala, Karnataka, Maharashtra and Gujarat apparently fled before his armies. So as we are talking about region and empire, so the Cholas, Tughlaqs and Mughals, they were the ones who just, ruled over many regions. They just weren't limited for a small region or a small part of the subcontinent, but they ruled almost the whole of the subcontinent. And the Sanskrit Prashasti is written in praise of someone. So it praises the Delhi Sultan Ghiyasuddin Balban. He ruled from 1266 to 1287, and in that Prashasti it was explained that he was the ruler of a vast empire. He just ruled over many regions like from Bengal to Afghanistan, Ghazni, and in the west it also included South India and also people of like different regions, Gauda, Andhra, Kerala, Karnataka, Maharashtra and Gujarat. They just fled before his armies. They just didn't fought. They just gave up themselves in front of him. Historians regard these as exaggerated claims of conquests. At the same time, they try to understand why rulers kept claiming to have control over different parts of the subcontinent. So historians just regard all these things that like the king just tell that we were the rulers of these places, we had a vast empire, we have a large empire. So they just they are unable to understand why they just claim that they have controlled, they just did control over different parts of the subcontinent again and again. And these were some of the over emphasized claims that the rulers used to did. By 700, many regions already possessed distinct geographical dimensions and their own language and cultural characteristics. They were also associated with specific ruling dynasties. There was considerable conflict between these states. Occasionally, dynasties like the Cholas, Khiljis, Tughlaqs, and Mughals were able to build an empire that was pan-regional, spanning diverse regions. Not all the empires were equally stable or successful. So by the year 700, many people just started to be literate, and they just different states just have like their own geographical dimension, their own boundaries and all those things, and their own language and the cultural characteristics, the rituals which are followed there and all those things. And they were also associated with different ruling dynasties, like the ruler which ruled there, the culture was also associated with them. And there was a considerable conflict between these states. And occasionally the dynasties like the Cholas, Khaljis, Tughlaqs and Mughals, they were able to build an empire which was pan-regional. It is like a pan-regional empire means an empire which is just spread over vast distances. Like when a ruler just rules over many regions, so it is known. So his region is known as a pan-regional empire. So it was like this, and all these dynasties which we have just discussed about, they were not equally stable or successful. There were like someone was like more successful, someone was less successful, but after all they were able to build pan-regional empire. When the Mughal Empire declined in the 18th century, it led to the re-emergence of regional state. But years of imperial pan-regional rule had altered the character of the regions. Across most of the subcontinent, the regions were left with the legacies of the big and small states that have ruled over them. This was apparent in the emergence of many distinct and shared traditions. In the realms of governance, the management of the economy, elite cultures, and language. Through the 1,000 years between 700 and 1750, the character of the different regions did not grow in isolation. These regions felt the impact of larger pan-regional forces of integration without ever quite losing their distinctiveness. So, when the Mughal Empire declined, their rule just declined in the 18th century. It led to the re-emergence or the reappearing of regional states. But after the years of monarchical, region, the pan-regional rule had altered. Or you can say it just changed the character of the regions of the places, because most of the subcontinent, the regions were just left with the legacies, or you can say the culture and the rituals of the big and small states that just ruled over them. They had different monarchs, they had different rulers, and they just, had different legacies from them. And this was clear that the emergence of many distinct and shared, there were many different traditions followed in just a region. Not the same tradition was followed. And in the governance of like the kingdom, the management of the economy, and like different cultures and language, they just did different things. And through the 1,000 years between 700 and 1750, a lot of rulers just ruled over the same region. And this region also felt impact of larger pan regional forces. Like many regions had the same legacies, but they were still different from each other. They still had their uniqueness. This video ends here. In my next video, we will study about old and new religions. If this video was useful to you, then don't forget to like, comment and share this video, and also subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to get all the notifications of my videos. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.